Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Kennard Lewis. We in the flesh, we doing it right. And I'm here today to talk to you about a topic that I think we need more clarity on, and that's about our role. Sometimes it can get confusing trying to figure out where you stand, what you're supposed to do. And I think two things allow us to figure out what our role is, and that's what's in our control and what we're good at. Now, the what's in our control can be various things. The good at can be specific, but just because you may not be an expert in it and it's in your control to do doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. For instance, a lot of people are not good at having these conversations, putting or haven't been in spaces where they could just spread information. You may not be an expert in terms of, oh, I know all of this, but if you see information, spread it. Wisdom and knowledge is universal. We have to understand that there's information out there that people do not know. Ignorance is very common. And for us to think that people should know everything is a little naive. Although I can understand why we would all think that, because the information is out there, right? Google is there. You could easily put something in your search engine and find something. But that's the lack of initiative that some people don't have. And that's unfortunate. But that's why if it's in your control to spread the information, right? And what are some of those things, right? Educate. That's the main thing that's in your control. You have the power to decide to pick up a book, read it. You have the power to watch a documentary, to watch a movie, to watch a show, to engage in conversations. You have that power. Mind you, do you have the power to dismantle the system by yourself? No, that's not in your control. But you have the power to educate yourself and the people around you. That's the main thing that we all need to do. Now, what we're good at, that's important. Because I said it last time about learning from our colonizers, right? Trying to figure out, like, okay, we need to separate, right? There's so many issues that affect black folks or that affect people of color, right? The healthcare industry, housing, education, banking, there's so policing. Again, there's so much stuff. Like, the list can really go on for, like, a tremendous amount. But that's what I'm talking about. If I'm not in housing, so I'm not gonna pull a Ben Carson and try to do housing. That's not my thing. I'm in mental health. I'm in counseling. I'm gonna focus on the issues pertaining black and brown folks within mental health. If you're in education, right, or a teacher, that's what you deal with. That's your part, right? And like, yeah, I'm in the school counseling field, and that isn't education, so I probably will be doing that too. But again, the people that are in this, like the doctors, the lawyers, right? Because there's a lot of stuff in law. Whatever field that you're in, dismantle the system or work with other people of color, non-people of color, to work to fix those issues. That is your role. Your role is to stay within your box for your skills and to help that. But it doesn't mean that you can't step out of it. It does not mean that. But right now, the beginning role, focus on what you're good at, focus on your environment, focus on your surroundings. That's important. People fail to realize that. Like, there's so much that is around us that's kind of broken, kind of not in the right state of mind. And for us to dismiss it because, oh, I don't want to do it, that's not going to do us justice. It's not. We need to work together by actually working separately in some ways. Because the information that I have will be limited to my field. But that's why we educate each other. It doesn't mean that just because you're in law, you don't learn about the healthcare system. Just because, you're in policing doesn't mean you don't learn about the educational system. There's so much information out there. Read. That's huge. Like, watch stuff, talk about things. Engage your mind, stimulate your mind. And it's so easy to share something on your Facebook story, on your IG story. It's so simple. I know you're going to make people uncomfortable, but I think that's our role. It's to make people uncomfortable. It's a push against the status quo, because the status quo has been dehumanizing, it's been imprisoning, it's been manipulating, and it's really been affecting the lifestyles of black folks. Right now, it's 4th of July. Black folks were not free. And I get it. Some of y'all like it's culture, it's the war, but like you gotta think about how segregated the army was back then. How black folks did so much for this country during slavery, after slavery, and nobody gets credit. We just get shunned down. So I get it, you want to celebrate your 4th of July, but really take a good look at it. Really take a good look at how long it took. 1776, 4th of July. 1865. That is nearly 100 years. 100 years of black folks seeing everybody else with their independence, seeing everybody else with their freedom. And they're working in the cotton fields. They're getting whipped. They're getting raped. And it's very important for the majorities to speak to other majorities. I'm a man. I'm a light-skinned brother. I'm going to speak to, I'm a straight guy. I'm going to speak to all those identities because there's a lot of isms within us. And even though it might sound unfair to say that, damn, I'm not misogynistic, I'm not homophobic, I'm not color, like, we are taught this. We are taught this on a daily basis, and it's very important for us to internalize, or not even internalize, self-reflect. Self-reflect about the things that you have. It doesn't, and you gotta understand, stop taking it so personally. Stop. Like, if you know it doesn't pertain to you, stop thinking it's you. Accept the notion because you are a part of a majority and continue to move on and help. Change. That's the role. That's the role. Educate, spread knowledge, work within your people, start to change policies within your job, start to change policies within your school. Focus on the students that are getting marginalized. Focus on the clients that are not getting enough services. Focus on the people. That's the role. If it's in your power, then you gotta do it. If it's in your power, then you must do it. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Find your role because it's right in front of you. Thank you.